We are with Professor Massimo Inguscio, who helped to create LENS, a European laboratory located within the University of Florence. Professor, LENS specializes in laser technology. Can you tell us how this initiative started?
Well, this was a great idea of more than 20 years ago, and the idea was to create a center where we could concentrate all the possible developments in the field of laser technology, that you know is one of the greatest revolutions of the last centuries, to apply it to any kind of investigation in atoms, molecules, solid state. The brilliant idea was to create this laboratory together with the university, and now we are in this campus where we are mixed also with different institutions. CNR, a lot of students are also coming from the Scuola Normale of Pisa, for instance, so we take advantage of all the high education level that we can offer, in Tuscany, and we put together all this expertise to, as I said before, to investigate our nature with this powerful source, which is the laser.
We are with Jacopo Catani, researcher in atomic physics. Can you explain in simple words the research line you are working on at LENS?
We started to try to employ this new technology, the laser technology, not only in order to investigate properties of matter, but also to try to manipulate matter and change its form. So, for example, in particular in this laboratory of atomic physics, we are trying to use laser in order to isolate single atoms and to encode information in each of them. The main task is to generate a new class of processor that would replace in the near future the ordinary classical processor that are in each PC that we ordinarily employ, that are based on silicon and electrons. Their technology is reaching the fundamental limits of these particular devices, so a new technology is required in order to overcome all of the limitation of these processors. So we are using single atoms and lasers in order to investigate new quantum processes that are at the basis of new fundamental computational schemes. They are called qubits, they are called quantum algorithms, and we are currently investigating fundamental properties of these systems. We are using gases and we are using lasers. In particular, we are trying to isolate single atoms in order to investigate their properties.
Another important application that we could do at LENS, thanks to the fact that it is really an interdisciplinary laboratory, is also to use this laser source, for instance, to interact not with atoms or simple regular molecules, but with proteins or cells, human living cells, and investigate the brain, for instance. So these are the frontiers that we are covering.
Francesco Vanzi is a researcher in biophysics who will explain to us the laser applications on living cells and tissues being researched at LENS.
In the biophysics group, we use lasers to develop new microscopes and apply them to biological and medical research. For example, we use lasers for detecting single biological protein molecules inside living cells, and these represent a very innovative approach both in basic research but also very important for applications in biosensing and diagnostics. Also, these type of microscopes are used for tissue imaging, and in particular we have built systems for dermatological innovative applications and endoscopic diagnostic tools, as well as the imaging of the living tissues in the central nervous system in the brain, where we can monitor the structure and the activity of neurons in the living brain. And this is applied in the flagship European Human Brain Project, where we study the overall structure and the connection between neurons, and this will allow us to understanding the computational power of neurons and even eventually to simulate the functions of the human brain within a supercomputer.
What relationships do you have with industrialists?
here in this lab is fundamental research. I mean, we follow dreams. I mean, we look, as you will see, for a possible quantum computer or for the reconstruction of the brain or whatever. But this is the way by which we can maybe help also the development of industrial richness thanks to discoveries. Discoveries are always surprises. And what you can see here, we are very proud of this because there is an important Japanese company which is developing with us. This is the control of this ultra spatial laser, which can be used to date the antiquities and so on. And so this will be sent to Japan, or maybe this company will come here in Tuscany, which is very likely.
Hänsch is the leading laboratory of its kind in Italy, if not in Europe. And it has been very important for me for the past 20 years. I've actually been a part of the executive committee for this time, but much more importantly, I enjoyed very stimulating interactions with young people, the brilliant young scientists working here. In one experiment back in 1997, we observed an effect that became the basis for the Physics Nobel Prize that was then awarded 8 years later. And that observation was made at Lens, which was then up in the hills of Arcetri, jointly with Marco Bellini. So there are many opportunities to discuss things, to think of collaborations, and it's a wonderful research environment.